Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Today is Tuesday, May 28th. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And if you got to have a long holiday weekend, I hope you enjoyed that. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what all wants to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. We'll be taking a look at the energy for the collective in general, and then we'll be going sign grouping by sign grouping and seeing what are the challenges for you and what other messages want to come through to help you navigate that. All right. And I will be doing the videos for the first half of June. Those will be posted within the next couple days, so make sure you hit subscribe and notification to be alerted as to when those videos post. All right, let's see what we've got in store for the collective. We have got Eight of Swords in reverse. We have got the Hermit. And we have got the Four of Swords in reverse. All right. So this is kind of thought heavy, both of them being in reverse. With our Eight of Swords in reverse, this is going to be about breaking free of things that have kind of made you feel trapped. A lot of times these are almost like self-imposed prisons, because when you look at it, here, I'll hold this up. Hopefully it'll focus on there. As you can see, most of the swords are behind her. And so there's this sense of self-imposed prison. One of the things that's interesting with this card in, usually the Eight of Swords figure is also blindfolded. So in this one, she's tied up, but she's not blindfolded. So she can see what's around her. It just seems like it's this hopeless position, but there's really no other sword standing behind her. So this is like that self-imposed prison. And when it comes up in the reverse, it is about breaking free from that and kind of having that, I guess, that clarity of, wait a second, I don't need to keep myself in this prison. It's about taking control of the next step. It's about getting your freedom. We also do have the Hermit, and the Hermit, this is that energy of kind of that period of reflection. And it's like you're taking a step back from the hustle and bustle to figure out what you need to do in your life. If there's a specific challenge, if you're breaking free from a challenge, it's kind of like, all right, I need my own time to get my head on straight. That sort of thinking. And then the idea there is, as you heal and as you work on that healing, then you're able to shine the light to others. In this one, there's no candles or anything like that, but it has that element of taking care of yourself. She's in the bubble bath, she's working on self-care. And so it's the idea of, I'm taking a step back so that I can focus on me, so that I can work on what I need to work on. The Four of Swords in the reverse is kind of that sense of exhaustion, though. In the upright, this is about having that recharge, having that healing. And this is kind of this sense of exhaustion when it comes up in the reverse. And, there's kind of the sense of breakdown that happens there. And interesting. So I think it definitely feels like it's going from the perspective of, there's exhaustion related to all of the healing that you've done. You felt trapped and you finally gotten to a point where it's like, okay, I'm moving on from feeling like I'm trapped. I'm wanting to move forward into my freedom, but I have to figure out what that looks like because I'm exhausted. There's been so much healing and focus, and what do I need to do? So it kind of can leave you feeling pretty exhausted. Let's jump in, though, sign grouping by sign grouping, and see what other specific messages are coming through. Let's start with our air signs. What is this challenge, or what challenge does air signs have as it relates to this feeling of needing to break free and just being exhausted and needing to shine the way for others? So what is air signs challenge? Death. So for our air signs, our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the challenge is death, and that is that transformation. It's not as ground altering or ground shaking as a tower, but something needs to go. So the challenge is, how do you reframe your thinking? How do you look at things differently? How do you allow a certain part of you to go away and let yourself be rebirthed? Because anytime you're looking to grow and change and evolve, something has to be let go of, even if it's just a certain mindset of here's what my comfort zone is. You have to leave that comfort zone to be able to grow by default, because you're taking up new space as you grow, or different space. So let's see what other messages we have for our air signs. The Hierophant in reverse. This is also about freedom. It's about thinking outside of the box. It's, you know, with the challenge card being death, it's how do you let go of old ideas about how you thought something should be and let the new come in? How do you think outside of the box to do things differently? And it can be exhausting. So it looks like, especially the progress here on the cards for the collective in general, with our 8 of Swords in reverse, 4 of Swords in reverse, and the Hermit. It's kind of like, you know, if you've been feeling trapped within certain confines, you know, you have that energy of just wanting to break free of it. So both of these are kind of the same thing. It's that freedom. It's thinking outside the box. It's doing something different. And even the Death card is about thinking outside of the box. It's doing something different. It's ending certain cycles, beliefs, thought patterns that weren't helping you. They weren't leading to your growth. And it's about stepping into something new. And that can be exhausting as you work on trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what does that look like? What does that look like? And, you know, with our air signs, especially, you know, like that Gemini energy, because we're in Gemini season, it's about curiosity. It's about communication. It's about, you know, oh, could I do this differently? How can I look at things a little differently? We have lost love, surrender, healing, release. For some of you, it could be that you have recently gone through a breakup, or with this Death card, it could even be the lost love. It could be a person, or it could be like a lost dream that you thought things were going to be going in this direction and they're just not. And that's the part of like breaking free from that idea that you were holding on to, but it you know, you're just exhausted because you kept trying to hold on to that idea, and you kept trying to mold the world around you into what you wanted it to be. And this sense of lost love about surrender and healing and releasing it, you know, look, you may need to consider, is it time to release that dream or that idea or that notion, release it back to the universe and ask what other dream you should have, or not should have, that's not right. What other dreams are available to you that are in better alignment and that match this place that you are in your life right now? Because that other dream, maybe that was a dream that has been there for a long time, but your life circumstances, it just doesn't really fit in there anymore. Okay, the card that jumped was leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. So that was the card that literally leapt as I was shuffling. And then the one that I drew was Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? Where is the universe trying to guide you? And that goes with what I was saying about maybe it's time to release that dream, this lost love. Maybe it's time to release that dream back to the universe and say, what else? What else am I being guided towards? And, you know, example here, and not that there was anything wrong with those dreams, but say that you always wanted to be a prima ballerina. Well, at some point in your life, you get to a point where it's like, I'm old enough that if I haven't done that already, it's not going to happen. And that doesn't mean that, oh, your life is a waste because that was your dream and it didn't come true. Is there a different dream? Maybe there's some variation of that. Maybe you join a dance company that's just more for fun and you feel compelled and drawn in a different direction, you know, whatever that is. Or if you wanted to own your own business and then you kind of had that dream in the back of your mind forever, and then now it just doesn't resonate with you anymore. There's nothing wrong with things no longer resonating with you. It's what do you do with that card that jumped? Free. May your soul sing freely. It's about if something doesn't resonate with you anymore, don't try to guilt or shame yourself into making it continue to resonate. Maybe it's time to ask the universe what else is possible for you. What else is in alignment, and ask the universe and your guides to bring in that experience. Decide, may you navigate with purpose. So a lot of this, and these cards are all going together. The leap, and what are you being called to journey to, and may your soul sing freely. So what is it really deep inside of you that you're being called to do? And think outside of the box with it. Just because other people may not understand what you're being called to do, if that's what's resonating within you, then listen to that. So that's part of it, because it'll give other people the strength and the courage when they see you be like, oh, well, they were able to follow their dreams. Maybe this isn't as crazy as I thought. Maybe I can follow mine too. So that's kind of that hermit energy of you go first and others will follow. All right, now we are on to our fire signs, which is our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's see what all is in store for you for today. And first, let's take a look at the challenge. What is the challenge for our Aries, Leo, Sag, please? This is the 9 of Cups in reverse. Doggy with a beret. So 9 of Cups in reverse. This is about disappointment and feeling unfulfilled. So in your challenge space is this sense of feeling disappointed and unfulfilled. And as it relates to the challenge here, there's this energy of, this is just kind of being like burned out and exhausted, and, that sense of feeling so, feeling so disappointed and unfulfilled is creating a challenge in your life, because there may be that sense for you of, yeah, but can I really change my life? Isn't that kind of greedy of me to want to change my life? Sometimes people get into this trap, and it's in one of my decks, the spray paint oracle deck. There's a card in there that says something to the effect of knock off that toxic positivity, because some people have that sense of, well, but my life isn't terrible. I should just be grateful for what I have. And while gratitude, yes, is a good thing, if you are constantly telling yourself that you don't have a right to be unhappy or unfulfilled and just shut up and suck it up, and you know what, at least you're not starving on the street. At least, at least you have all 4 of your limbs. At least you have food to eat. So be quiet and be grateful. Like if that's the sort of kind of almost toxic positivity, which sometimes can stem from childhood. If maybe you were expressing your desires for something, and a parent or teacher or loved one was like, that's awfully greedy of you. Like, don't you appreciate what you have? That can kind of end up playing out later as this sense of toxic positivity of, well, of course I have to just be grateful for what I have. So for you, from a challenge perspective, it's like you are feeling disappointed, and what do you do about that? You can either bury it and pretend like, nope, I'm fine. I'm not dying today, so I should just be grateful for that. Or you can look at that and say, okay, where can I make other changes in my life? Where can I break free so that I can live a life that's more in alignment, so that I can live a life that feels happier and more fulfilling for me? And that, being able to break that sort of cycle, is something that's inspiring to other people. That's that hermit energy, that going within and then shining the light for other people. The energy that came up for you is the Chariot in reverse. So in terms of major arcana cards for our fire signs. And that is kind of some delays and bad timing. So it's like you have this feeling of, wanting to break free. So there's energy pushing you to try to break free, but then there's something else that comes up that makes you feel like, oh, it's bad timing. Oh, it's bad timing about this. But let's see what other messages want to come through for you from Spirit, because sometimes, bad timing exists, but it can also, that can be that devil energy of trying to make you think, well, you shouldn't do it because the stars didn't all align absolutely perfectly. This is the Search, feeling lost, confused, and lonely. And this kind of goes with feeling, burned out. And sometimes the Hermit has kind of that lonely energy of like, you're sitting there trying to figure it out and trying to do that soul searching. And it can feel lonely sometimes. Let's take a look and see what other energy we have for our fire signs. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. With this, depending on how you have been brought up, what your experiences have been, some of you may struggle with expressing your feelings openly, whether it was within like your family unit of, well, we don't talk about that sort of thing. Well, don't talk about that, or even within your peer group, maybe with your friends, if you would express something and they kind of look at you like, what? Why are you talking about that? Where you learn to have to do everything on your own. But this is not a situation where you have to do everything on your own. Call in your soul family. They're here to help you. They want to encourage you to live your best life, your happiest life, your most authentic life. Awe. May you see the sublime in the everyday. And looking at it, that every day offers you a chance to do something different. Every day offers you an opportunity to better align. And if you're constantly waiting for, oh, well, I have to wait for the perfect timing. I have to wait for the perfect timing. Like, look at what happens every day around you. There's always opportunity around you, and you just have to be able to take it. Because remember, if you push it off, oh, well, maybe later, if every day is an opportunity to change your circumstances and improve it, if you wait, 3 years and you keep kicking the can down the road, that's 1,000 opportunities you've had to make a change, to bring yourself better into alignment, to bring yourself out of this feeling of like disappointment. So that was the message for our fire signs. Now let's take a look at our earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see, what is the challenge for our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? Page of Cups. So this is that kind of like dreamer energy, that innocent, naive energy. It's that the offer of a solitary rose. It's like the baby steps. So the challenge for you is imagining what things would look like if they were different. So this, this feeling of moving on. The challenge for you, even though there's this energy pushing you to move on, is it's like, but what does that look like? I don't even know. I can't even dream or think about what that might look like for things to be different. That was a lot of cards that jumped. So let's see what we've got for our major arcana card. Death in reverse. So this is about clinging to something, not like you're resisting the change that wants to come in. So the death card is about change, and it's about, death and rebirth. And so it has to do with like growth and reinventing yourself and continuing to move forward. And so death in reverse is really about clinging to the past. It's about clinging to something that you really shouldn't be clinging to anymore. And as it relates to, you're feeling like if the energy is that you're just kind of exhausted here, and that you're kind of broken down and just stressed out, because this is very thought heavy. This is like all up in your head since it's swords. So if you're exhausted, it's like you're still clinging to it because you haven't seen what you think the next step should be. So it's like, well, I don't want to let go of what I've got because I don't know what else is out there. So it's kind of that whole better the devil, All right, your Gaia card, achievement. Keep focused on your dream. And for some of you, that could be a challenge, since the Page of Cups came up in the challenge space, that could be the challenge for you. You don't know what that dream looks like. If you've been in a situation for so long, you don't even know what anything else might look like. So the challenge of that dreamer energy is this really what you want? If it's not what you want, how can you envision something different or better? How can you envision something? And when I say better, I'm meaning more in alignment with, or I guess that one jumped, so we'll look at that. More in alignment with your authentic self. So the card that jumped was play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. And then inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. This is kind of that, again, it goes along with this dreamer energy of, if you weren't being so serious about this situation, what would you be wanting to do? All right. Oh, that was like 5 cards that pulled, or that jumped there. So let's pull one more here for our earth signs. Journey. May you seek adventure. So this part of it with all the oracle cards coming in is it's like you're stuck in a rut, but you have been in that rut for long enough that you don't even know what else could you even dream of. Like you're holding on to the rut because you don't know what this looks like. Or for some of you, maybe you've been told in the past, like, oh, get your head out of the clouds, like be practical, be reasonable, be logical, whatever the case may be. And so you don't even know what else could possibly be out there for you. You're so used to, nope, just keep on plugging away, just keep your head down in the boat and row hard, and that's just what you do, that you're missing that spark of joy. So that was the message for earth signs. And now we are on to water signs, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's take a look and see what we have coming in for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right. What is the challenge, please, for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces? The Emperor. In the challenge space, then, this is that assertive masculine energy. This is that, take action, divine masculine, like that leadership type of energy. So that's where your challenge is. It's like, you need to break free, but it's actually doing it then, like taking that step forward. The Sun in reverse. This is feeling locked out of your blessings. If you're feeling locked out of your blessings right now, I'm going to say it's because of the fact that you're hesitant to take that step. You're hesitant to be assertive and say, this is what I want in my life. This is the happiness that I want, and then break free from whatever is keeping you over here. So if you're feeling locked out of your blessings, it's because you're just exhausted and, like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? And it's putting you more in that headspace and keeping you out of that action, all right, let's take some positive steps forward type of energy. Tree of Life, fertility, creativity, destiny, and magical blessings. And that's all about, the creativity part is more of that, that feminine energy, that flowing, nurturing, abundant type of energy. And it's all about fertility. So that's going to be that Empress energy, which is the counterpart here to the Emperor. That's what's pushing, that wants to come in. But in order to do that, like, part of the challenge is if you're too much in that energy and not enough in the, action energy, it can kind of keep you just off in dreamer land without taking definitive steps in that direction. All right. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If there's something here, this whole breaking free, if you're being held back right now because you're worried about how's this going to impact everybody else, which it seems like that's kind of what it is, because we have the Emperor as your challenge card. You're worried about taking action. But if you knew everybody else would be okay, what would your action be? A lot of times, depending on the situations though, if you are making choices that are in alignment with you and they put you in that good, high vibe, happier place, that will bleed off into, people around you. So if you're worried, well, I can't do this because what about this? If I can't do this, what about this? Like, I can't quit my job because my family needs my income. They do, but they also need your good energy, your love, your light to emanate from you. So if your job has sucked all of that out and you're showing up as kind of a hollow shell of a person to your family because your job has sucked out your will to live, I would argue, are you really doing what you want to be doing for your family? Like, is that how you want to be showing up? And so that's what it means. Like, if you knew everybody would be okay, then what would you do? Because if you're okay you can find other ways around some of these other challenges. And then we have play. May you seek out fun and connection. And with those oranges, that definitely goes with this sun card. So if you can find some of that lighthearted, playful type of energy, then you'll be able to sit more in that high vibe, which is going to make you feel that abundance coming in. It's going to make you feel like you're more, I guess, protected from the universe. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.